Jordan. This is my December 2024 roundup. It's a new year. It's now January 2025. And I'll talk about my favorite games of the year. I usually do that a couple months into the following year because there's always some games that I pick up maybe at PAX or at some other kind of events that I'm just like slowly working through. And so I just need a little bit more time. I don't want to I don't know. I want it to be lit. I want it to be a good list. I want to be able to play everything I want to play. I did get through a lot of games over the last couple weeks that have been high on my list that I want to get played before I do my end of the year list. A couple more I need to play include, I just got the Bitewing Kickstarter in with Bebop and Shuffle and Swing, so I really want to play both of those because those seem like games that are right up my alley. The Gang seems to be really popular, and it's one that I've missed this year that I really want to play. And then, what was the other one? Maybe that's it. I'm looking over at my to-play shelf over there. And I think those are all the big ones. I have other games that I want to play, but I don't want to say I don't have high hopes for them, but I'm just kind of more excited to play some of these other games that I think might fit into that list. But I've already played a ton of games from 2024. I could easily make a top 10 and feel really solid about it, but there's just some more games I want to play. So this is just going to be December, 1 month worth of games. We're going to talk about 4 games. Most of these I actually played since Christmas time. Beginning of December, I did play a bunch of games at PAX Unplugged. I also demoed games for Bitewing games. So that was awesome. If you guys stop by and say hi, that was really nice to see folks that I don't get to see a ton. And Bitewing is just a great publisher with some great games. I did mostly Cascadero and Spectral, teaching those 2 games, which I think are fantastic. May or may not be on my top 10 of the year list. But they're also Cat Blues, which is also a fun kind of card-shedding card game. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else. But yeah, I think all 4 of the games I'm going to talk about were kind of Christmas-esque acquisitions, if you will. But let's get started. We're going to go small here. This first one is a game that was on my radar for a bit. I didn't really see a ton of folks talking about it until recently. I'm not sure when it came out, but my wife picked it up for me for Christmas because it was on my list. And I have fallen in love with it. It's on Board Game Arena, and I've been playing it a ton on there too. And this is Pixies. Hopefully you guys are seeing that. And it is, I guess, it's in the same kind of box size line like Sea Salt and Paper, which I think must be upstairs. And I love Sea Salt and Paper, but I think it's a little esoteric to teach, especially scoring and like calling for the round is really kind of weird. I saw it described by a buddy. He's like, yeah, this is a quick, fast card game. It'll be really easy to teach. And I was like, I don't agree with that. Like, I don't think it's a hard game, but it's really tricky to wrap your head around. Pixies, on the other hand, this is a fast, quick card game that is so easy to wrap your head around. It's by Johannes Guppy, who has quickly become a really wonderful designer in my eyes. He did Orichalcum. I believe he also did Rauha. I don't know if that was this past year or the year before. But yeah, everything, I see his name attached to something, and it's been really nice. Was he involved in Sea Salt and Paper too, actually? I'm not sure. But Pixies is great. It's got similar artwork with the kind of photographical style to it. And it's got just a really simple grid mechanism. You're drafting these cards and putting them in a grid 1 through 9. Your 1 cards go in the 1 slot, your 9 cards go in the 9 slot, and you're just playing until you fill up this grid, and then you're just going to score it based off the colors of the cards, based off the numbers of the cards. Sometimes you can tuck a card underneath them and they'll score some more points. There's not a ton to it, but it's like it. And I talk about like how like games feel like really pure and streamlined, and this one really kind of encapsulates that. I love this one. This is a little tiny game. Maybe it'll show up on my list for the year. Maybe it won't. I think it might. Right, the next game I don't actually have. I played a friend's copy of it. I'll put it in one of these corners here. This is Ecosfera. Ecosfera. It is a cooperative deck building game. I believe it was on Kickstarter. It is hard to find any content about the game since it was released. And I guess it released. Some friends picked it up at our local game store. And this is like I said, it's a cooperative card game, cooperative deck building game where you are trying to collect these element cards, and then those element cards are going to be used in order to buy these plant cards, and then those plant cards symbols on the plant cards are then going to be used to buy these animal cards, and then groups of animals are going to allow you to create an ecosystem. It kind of builds in that general direction. I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was a great game, not one that I'm really excited about playing again. It felt, and I was talking to my wife afterward, it felt as though on your turn, you didn't have a lot of choice. You had a hand of cards, and you could do what that hand of cards told you to do. There wasn't really a lot of decision making there. There were some actions that you could take where, like, maybe you trade a card with other people, and there all the hands are open on the table. You could maybe trade a card with somebody else. You're kind of setting each other up, but it kind of felt like, I guess it's sort of a puzzle with these hands of cards, trying to make sure everybody has the right kind of hand. But it just kind of felt limited in that decision-making space. And then towards the end of the game, there's just a lot of like dead turns. You get your hand of cards. I literally can't do anything. Shuffle them up, take the desert, like take a drought card or whatever, and you put it back in your card like it's a negative card. And so then your next turn you flip over your cards. I still don't have anything. It just kind of like, as the game went on, the turns became less interesting. Yeah, so pass for us. Artwork was fantastic. Production was really top notch, but the gameplay just wasn't there for us, unfortunately. So Ecosfera is a pass for us. This next one has been on the top of a lot of folks' lists for the year, and I think it's a really wonderful game too. This is Bomb Busters. I picked this one up from my game store during their Black Friday sales, and I finally got it played in December. And it is a cooperative deduction game trying to figure out these number tiles that everybody has on this rack, almost like Hanabi, but I don't like Hanabi, but I really do like Bomb Busters. I'm not totally I haven't played Hanabi in a while, so I can't really give a good comparison, but I generally don't like Hanabi, and I do really like this one. And on your turn, you're going to kind of deduce what number somebody might have in front of them and be like, that is a 3. And then they'll say yes or no. If it is, then you get to show one of your 3s. And then as you're showing what these numbered wires are, you're cutting these wires, you're going to be able to see, like, okay, they had a 3 there and they had a 5 there, so there's a number in between there. They have 3 wires in between, so they probably have a 4 somewhere in there, so, something like that. And you're just, generally, each scenario is going to give you a little bit of a different wrinkle, a little bit of a different challenge. There are going to be these regular wires, and then there's also these yellow and red wires that make the game more complicated as you mix those in as well. I've really enjoyed this one. I've played it with some folks that didn't kind of wrap their head around the type of deduction it was, but it worked really well for me, and then some other folks that I've played it with have also really loved it. So check it out, Bomb Busters. It's on a lot of people's lists, but I definitely agree about how good it is. Generally speaking, Foundations of Metropolis feels like some older games that I really enjoy. Chinatown is one in particular. Acquire is another one. My family grew up playing Acquire all the time. That was like a family game of ours. We had the old 3M box, and it was like a game that we would pull out once or twice a year, and it would be like a day kind of experience. And Foundations of Metropolis feels like that, with this grid of city blocks, and you're slowly acquiring different properties here, and as you acquire properties that are next to each other, you're going to be able to put out buildings. Those buildings are going to give you population and income and points, and it just works really smoothly. I've had some folks I've played with who are new to the game often underplay maybe how important one of those things are, and it's really important to just try to almost balance or figure out what kind of mixture for this soup is going to work best. But Foundations of Metropolis, I really enjoy this one. Check it out if you haven't gotten Foundations of Rome. If you already have Foundations of Rome, there's no reason to own this. But if you don't have Foundations of Rome, check out Foundations of Metropolis. I think it's a really nice one. So there you go. Those are 4 games I liked in varying amounts. Bomb Busters, Foundations of Metropolis, and Pixies are all definitely recommended for me. I would rate them all well over a 7. Ecosfera definitely is not. That's definitely under something I would recommend. But maybe you have it and you want to try it out. Maybe you'll like it. I don't know. So there you go. I guess I'll say goodbye now. Bye.